Hi, this is Kai from Raising the Bar, and this time the video will be about example 2.2 in the book. Probably you have noticed that each time I give a little more material than is directly required by an exercise or example. And here I want to provide a few comments about charts definitions. Okay, more often in AP statistics textbooks, the charts definitions are not given or they are imprecise. It is important to realize each time what we put on the vertical axis and on the horizontal axis. Like here, for example, on this histogram that we constructed last time, you can see that on the vertical axis you put frequencies, and the chart says that on the horizontal axis we put bins. In fact, it should be values. Okay, so I'm going to change this to values. Okay, so the formal definition of a histogram is shortly can be formulated like this, that we plot frequencies against values. In order to compare this definition, in order to show how it is important to remember a definition of a chart or of a plot in this format, I want to show you a different plot, a time series plot. Okay, on the histogram, when we constructed this histogram last time, we thought about these values 14, 15, and so on as temperatures. Okay, and for each of these values we generated a randomly observed temperature, like it was 20, 27, and so on. Now I want to change this interpretation. Instead of temperature, I'm going to put time. Okay, so we are thinking about a situation when we observe, for example, stock prices, and this says that here I'm going to change this to price. Okay, so the interpretation is like this, that on day 14 the stock price that we observe is 32, on day 15 the stock price that we observe is 35, and so on. Okay, so these will be the observations on prices will be observations a long time, and therefore we talk about a time series. So I want to construct a time series where on the vertical axis we would have prices, on the horizontal axis we would have points in time. Okay, so how do we do this? We select the values for prices including the label, and then go to charts. We can choose line, no problem about that. Okay, and here we see that the values of prices will be on the vertical axis. The values on the horizontal axis are wrong. They are not those days that I put here, 14, 15, and so on. So I want to change that. In order to change that, we do the following. We can right click on the graph of the price. The way Excel responds to your actions depends on where you right click. Okay, so here we need to right click on the graph of the price and then say format data series. Format data series. Oops, it's the wrong option. Once again, select data. This is where we go. Select data. Okay, so for the vertical axis I already have the right information. It is price. And for the horizontal axis, I want to change this. It should not be 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. It should be those values that I have for time. And in this case, we do not include the label. So I start from the first day, go to the end, up to the last day. Okay, and then click OK. Once again, click OK. Now we have the right values for the days. Okay, so you can the way we state the definition of the time series plot is that we plot the values against time. Okay, once again, if you compare this with the definition of histogram, we plot frequencies against values, And if, in order to see if you understand this correctly, ask yourself a question: where do you put the mean of a variable? Okay, like in case of a histogram, since the values are on the horizontal line, the mean will also be on a horizontal line. It will be somewhere here, maybe 27 or 28, something like that. And in case of a time series plot, since the values are on the vertical line, then the mean of those values will also be on the vertical line. Okay, so I see here that it will be around 27. And then just to play around, you can press F9 to see how the graph will change. Okay, so this could be different observations on a stock price on different days. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you very much. See you next time.